Happy VA Wednesday. So today we're going to talk about your mail. I know you're like, what? Yeah, there's an enemy in your mailbox. And I talk to clients about it all the time, but I was like, I feel like everyone should know this. So what we're going to be talking about today is what to expect once you've bought a house as a veteran in your mailbox and what to watch out for. Now, if you're new to the channel, I'm licensed in 48 states. Yes, I'm one of the top VA lenders in America. Happy to help, but let's get to business, okay? This is one of my pet peeves. It's been driving me nuts for years, and it's actually something that you've seen a lot of government enforcement on. You can do some Google searches on predatory mail directed at veterans. It's like a long history, okay? And it continues, you know? They smack one person down and fine them, another one springs up. You know, they smack them, two more spring up. It's never ending. So instead of expecting that the government's going to be able to solve this problem, it's best if you know the signs and what to avoid. Now, the biggest thing that I see the most confusion on is when you get a letter and it looks like it's from your lender, okay? So it's important that you realize that in most states, when you close on a house, your name, who did the loan, as well as the loan amount becomes public record, okay? And these companies buy lists. So their whole thing is they buy these lists where as soon as you close, you're on their list now for mail. It's really hard to get off any mailing list, even if you never wanted to be on it. It's not like email where you can just unsubscribe and they know that, okay? So they have this information, and what they do is you'll get a letter that looks like it's from your lender. You know, in my case, I'm at guaranteed rates. So someone will be like, Jen, you sent me a letter. And I'm like, no, I didn't. And they're like, you did. I'm like, no, I didn't. And they're like, look. And I'm like, that's not for me, right? But how would you know? Because here's the thing. The way that these letters look, generally you'll see like on the left-hand side, it will say RE guaranteed rate, regarding guaranteed rate. You'll see the loan amount for when you bought the house, and there'll be a loan number. And you're like, well, how would they have all that? That must be you. They make up a loan number. I'm not kidding. They'll make up a loan number because most people, if you see those three things, you'll assume it's actually guaranteed rate. Why would you not? Right? I would assume it was guaranteed rate if I didn't know all this, because how the hell do they know who my lender was and what my loan amount is? It's because it's public and they can buy it, right? Data, 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 buy, buy, buy. So you're like, well, why do they put a fake loan number on? Because they know you don't know your loan number. I don't know my loan number. Very few people know their loan number. So if it says loan number, one's going to assume it's actually the loan number. Then it has, you know, a note. It's very important that you reach out to us. We need to speak to you about your mortgage. You know, please reach out immediately. Call the loan service center, and it has a phone number. Okay? They write it in a way that creates a sense of urgency. So you call the number, but it's not us. You know, usually it's someone trying to sell you another product. Sometimes it's another lender, especially when we get closer to refis. There's a lot of that where they're trying to get you to refi. But it could be fraud. It could be someone stealing your identity, because here's the thing. If you look at that and you think it's guaranteed rate and you have to call the loan service center, you know, what if the person says this? Oh, hey, Barbara, I'm so glad you called. Yeah, thank goodness you called in time. Just so you know, we're having issues with your loan and we don't want to have to take the keys back, Barbara. We really don't. But I just need to verify two things. I need to verify your social security number. Can you repeat that to me, Barbara? Yeah, we need the whole thing. I know. And I also need your date of birth. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then when you did your password with us, what was your security word? Because we have to reset that for you, Barbara. It could happen. I mean, that's the thing, and that's what's so staggering about it is, you know, A, I don't think data should be sold the way it is, but B, like that's my concern and why I'm doing this video. So if you guys get anything in the mail that you think is from your lender, that you think is urgent or important, contact your loan officer and say, hey, I got this. Is this from you? Right? Or if you're like, I hated my loan officer, Jennifer, just text me a picture. Because usually what you'll find on these is you'll find a little bar of fine print on the bottom. And on the bottom, it's going to say, we are not affiliated with XYZ, your lender, blah, 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 and their true identity. That's if they're being compliant. But there's some that aren't. So before you call some random phone number, please check in with your loan officer. Now, the other thing to watch out for is the refinance mailers. Okay. If you're a VA, you can't do a VA interest rate reduction loan until 210 days from your first payment. But they're going to start marketing to you really quickly. And the reason is they want to make sure that as soon as you're ready, or even if they do a long lock, right? Because that's the thing, like a lender could lock you for 120 days and then close you after that window, but they want to make sure they're going to capture that business. And they'll do really deceptive stuff. You can actually look up, a lot of lenders got in trouble because they were impersonating VA. And you'll see that again, REVA. And they'll do this stuff that's like, your VA benefit entitles you to $5,000 and a reduced monthly payment of XYZ. Call now to utilize your VA benefit. And you're like, wow, this is great. It's from VA and I'm going to get money and I'm going to have a lower payment. Awesome. It's bullshit. It's not from VA. VA doesn't do that. That's not a VA thing. VA is not going to tell you that there's money in the mail and a lower payment. That's a shady lender using verbiage around VA to make you think they're VA. It's messed up. And then the reason why they're saying you get cash back, and this is one you really need to know, is because with a VA interest rate reduction loan, it's really tight. You have to be able to show the borrower's benefiting. And they did that rule because so many people were being taken advantage of. You know, like lenders were charging people points. There was no point in them refining. It was just trickery at its finest. So they made VA interest rate reduction loans where you really have to prove a benefit. Cash out VA refi, one of the benefits that can make it worthwhile, even if mathematically it makes no sense, is cash out. That's why they do it, because then they don't have to worry about those other rules and they can charge you points. Now, do you think they're going to say to you, oh yeah, to get that $1,400, we're actually going to have to charge you 4 points. We have 2 points origination. Of course not, guys. They're going to roll it all into your loan. They're going to hope you don't pay attention to the loan estimate, and they're going to strip your equity. It happens every day. So you really want to be cautious about this. And if you're ever like, gosh, it sounds really good, like I would like it, call me. I'll tell you if it's real. I'll tell you if rates are there. I'll tell you exactly what they're saying, because I've seen so many of them where what they're proposing as your monthly payment, it's not even real. And if you look at the fine print, it's literally like the biggest LOL in the world. And that's the thing. And all of this, you want to look at the fine print. Before you ever call, before you reach out, look at the fine print, because I'm telling you right now, VA is not going to mail you guys a thing to call them to get money and a lower mortgage payment. They don't do loans. Okay, so look, those are two big things I see. The last thing I see that I want to bring up in this video, because I know I'm going kind of long, title. I see a lot of stuff where people, when you first close on a house, they're trying to sell you title protection. This is not necessary, okay? Unless you didn't buy title insurance, which is super weird because most states require title insurance. Personally, if you're one of my clients, if you're in a state where it's optional, you likely got it, okay? Like we have 1 out of 1,000 people who refuses to get title insurance. We always recommend it. And title protection is not the same thing. It's just they like to freak you out and get money. So it's one of those services. The other thing is mortgage protection. They'll say, if you lose your job, we'll pay your mortgage. Once again, read the fine print. Once upon a time, I was at a bank where they were starting to sell this. I wouldn't sell it. And the reason I wouldn't sell it is because when I looked at the fine print, it was so ridiculous what would have to happen. I knew that there was no way any of my clients would ever be able to use that insurance, but it would be draining them of money, okay? So bottom line, your mailbox is your enemy, okay? If you see something from your lender, look, if Guaranteed Rate's mailing you something, it's going to have a logo. But I tell all my clients, please call me or CJ, call Jen, call Sam. I really want you just reaching out back to us because we know that we can handle whatever the situation is. So I hope this video was helpful. And if this has happened to you or you've seen this, please drop it in the comments.